Urban growth is a global phenomenon. What is different about urbanization in Africa, however, is the pace by which its urban population increases. In 1950, only 15% of Africa's population lived in cities. This proportion increased significantly to reach 27% in 1990, 33% in 2005, and 41% in 2020. By 2050, it is expected that around 60% of Africa's urban population will be living in cities. The awareness about the importance of urbanization on the African continent is increasing considerably, thanks to media, knowledge production, and project-based work. Reflections about the long-term impacts of Africa's rapidly rising cities are also dealing with the question of urban governance. How can key stakeholders influence and regulate urbanization as to create cities which respond to the needs of Africa's rising urban population? How to make sure that citizens and urban population have access to basic services such as water, sanitation, electricity, and transport infrastructure? How to create access to secure land and property rights? In this section, we will deal with 4 key aspects of urban governance. It is crucial for all urban stakeholders to unpack the concept as to design and implement new governance mechanisms. Okay, let's first have a look at what urban governance actually means. Various definitions exist to define the concept, and I will not discuss all of them in detail. But what is crucial is to distinguish the 2 terms of governance and government. The latter refers to basically political and public decision-making bodies. Governance, on the other hand, also includes the questions of processes, interaction, and competition. Urban governance encompasses not only political and public stakeholders, but also non-state stakeholders, such as private companies, international NGOs, grassroots organizations, and citizen movements. What is also particular about urban governance in Africa is that their stakeholders are particularly numerous. This is also related to the fact that many African governments rely on external funding, including investment, development aid, and also project-based funding. In most of the cases, stakeholders related to these external funding are directly involved into the implementation of urban projects and infrastructure and have a direct influence. And they also work according to different schedules. It can be particularly challenging for domestic stakeholders such as municipalities, local governments, and national government bodies to orchestrate this mosaic-like interventions. Secondly, discourses about urban governance are still largely based on a binary vision. The general discourse says that if cities are well planned, then they can become engines of socio-economic development. If, on the other hand, urban growth is not regulated, then cities can become poverty traps and increase informality. What is problematic about this binary vision and simplified discourse about urban governance is that it artificially opposes formality, planning and legality on the one hand, and informality, chaos and lack of structure on the other hand. Research and practice have, however, shown that urban realities are often more complex, and that the borders between informal and formal economies, property and ownership are often blurred. Decision-making stakeholders are also diverse, and imported urban planning mechanisms are outdated and inappropriate for some contexts. It is therefore crucial to take stock of existing social, political and economic realities, which can vary from one region to another, to design appropriate and more suitable governance models. Thirdly, urban governance is deeply political. The multi-stakeholder character of urban governance is often used as an argument to depoliticize the concept. Yet there is competition between the various stakeholders involved and who are situated at different administrative levels. Electoral competition between city makers is often used as a prime example of urban governance. Yet constant and daily bargaining also exists between different administrative stakeholders based on the different government levels. For example, mega infrastructure projects such as highways or entire new cities are often supervised directly by central government bodies. Decentralized and municipal stakeholders are in these cases less involved and sometimes even circumvented, and this can create frustration and competition. Therefore, and this is my last point, the resources and decision-making power of decentralized and municipal stakeholders needs to be increased. The knowledge, needs and interests of citizens need to be directly represented in urban fora. Some experts advise to increase the capacities of decentralized and municipal bodies to generate their own resources. Several tools, such as land-based finance, for example, can be used and adapted to different local contexts to make them less reliant on national and external financial resources. Finally, when urban projects and infrastructures are developed and implemented, the following question needs to be asked. Whom are these projects conceived for, and how can they be developed to serve the urban majority?